20 ways people beat the summer heat before air conditioning. Picture a summer night when the air was so heavy it felt like you were breathing through a blanket. You'd toss and turn with only a damp sheet, or plan your whole day around the rising and setting sun. For our ancestors, this wasn't an inconvenience. It was everyday life. Long before the comfort of central air, people relied on creativity, clever design, and shared traditions to endure the sweltering months. Here are 20 nostalgic ways people kept cool before air conditioning. 1. Tall ceilings and smart homes. Back in the 1800s and early 1900s, homes were designed with the climate in mind. High ceilings allowed heat to rise above living spaces, while windows were often placed opposite each other to create a cross breeze. Many houses also had little hinged windows above doors, called transoms, that helped circulate air throughout the home, even when the doors were shut. The house itself was a cooling system. 2. The beloved front porch. The porch wasn't just decoration. It was the summer living room. Families gathered on rocking chairs in the evenings, sipping lemonade or iced tea, while neighbors stopped by to swap stories. It was the place for kids to play, adults to cool off, and families to eat outside in the shade. 3. Sleeping porches. Some homes went a step further and built screened porches meant just for sleeping in summer. On stifling nights, families would drag out mattresses and fall asleep to the sound of crickets and the comfort of a night breeze, safe from mosquitoes. 4. Electric fans. When fans arrived in the late 1800s, they were a lifesaver. People got creative, setting bowls of ice in front of them to blow chilled air, or hanging wet sheets near open windows so the breeze would evaporate water and cool the room. 5. The icebox and the iceman. Before refrigerators, iceboxes kept food cold, but that block of ice served double duty. On scorching days, kids begged the iceman for chips of ice to suck on. Families used those ice blocks to chill drinks or pair with fans to create a makeshift cooling system. 6. Swamp coolers. In dry, desert states like Arizona, evaporative coolers, nicknamed swamp coolers, became common in the 1930s. They pulled air through wet pads, making it cooler before blowing it inside. Not great in humidity, but perfect for the Southwest. 7. Breathable summer clothes. People dressed to beat the heat. Cotton, linen, and seersucker were summer staples. Men wore light-colored suits, or even just undershirts at home. Women wore loose, airy dresses, and kids ran barefoot in nothing but shorts or little sunsuits. 8. Slow living. Life adjusted with the sun. Hard labor happened at dawn and dusk, while midday was reserved for naps, quiet games, or resting in the shade. Even chores like ironing and baking were pushed into the early morning hours. 9. Movie theaters and department stores. By the 1920s, movie houses and big shops advertised refrigerated air to draw in customers. People didn't just go to see the latest picture. They went for the thrill of sitting in a cold, dark theater for a few hours. 10. Fire hydrants and sprinklers. Neighborhoods often turned water into entertainment. Kids would run through lawn sprinklers, or in cities, gather around an open hydrant, turning the street into a homemade water park. 11. Shaded parks and picnics. Before malls, families packed picnics and escaped to tree-filled parks. A shady oak, a cool breeze, and a cold drink made summer bearable. 12. Straw hats and parasols. Sun protection was just as important as staying cool. Men sported wide-brimmed straw hats, while women carried parasols to block direct sun and make outings more comfortable. 13. Handheld fans. Whether paper, lace, or bamboo, hand fans were everywhere. A simple flick of the wrist could bring instant relief in a church service, a crowded theater, or a summer train ride. 14. Stone and brick houses. In many areas, homes were built of thick stone or brick, which naturally stayed cooler during the day. Basements often served as summer refuges where families gathered to play games, eat meals, or sleep. 15. Cold wells and springs. Before refrigerators, people relied on natural cool spots. Milk, butter, and water jugs were often stored in spring houses or wells where temperatures stayed low. A cold drink straight from the well was priceless on a hot day. 16. Afternoon lemonade and iced tea. Cold drinks weren't just refreshing, they were rituals. Families made pitchers of lemonade or brewed tea to be served over chipped ice, creating simple luxuries that defined summer afternoons. 17. Shade trees and vines. Families planted tall shade trees around their homes or grew climbing vines on porches and windows to block direct sunlight. A well-placed tree could reduce indoor heat drastically. 18. Car rides with the windows down. Before car air conditioning, a breezy drive down a country road was its own form of cooling off. Families would load into the car just to catch the wind. 19. Tin roofs sprayed with water. Some households cooled their homes by hosing down tin roofs or wooden siding during the hottest afternoons. The evaporation helped drop temperatures, if only for a little while. 20. Sleeping outdoors. When nights were unbearable, many families skipped the house altogether. They dragged mattresses into the yard, onto rooftops, or camped under the stars for a breath of fresh, moving air. So, which of these would you have relied on the most if you lived in a world without air conditioning? Let us know down below, because sometimes the old ways remind us just how resilient people really were.